Hi, today we're going to learn about masking fluid and the fun techniques that you can do with it. We're going to learn 5 ways to apply it, and then I'm going to end the video with how to rescue your brush if you got some that's still stuck to it. The first way is with a brush with soap. This is the Master Brush Cleaner soap, and I'm going to roll it on there pretty good and then stick it into the frisket. And this works really well for big areas. I'm not going to go all the way across this, but on the sides, and the bottom's kind of irregular. And you can also get some good grassy kind of strokes. That one didn't really go on because I didn't have enough. You lift your brush as you get to the end. Now you can't use it forever without it breaking through the soap. So I'm going to quickly rinse it off when I'm finished. So if you have a huge painting with lots and lots of frisket, then I wouldn't keep doing the whole painting without washing the brush in between. So now I'm washing my brush and it all just washed out really well. The next way is for when you want to do really fine lines. So what if I wanted to do back in the background? So these fine lines are for things like, well, I want to do a dandelion fluff. And so I'm going to do it with this. And then I also want some grasses that are finer and go more directions. Now for this, I did water my frisket down, and my frisket's very, very old, so I'm actually looking into trying a new kind, but over time, this has turned quite blue. Still works great. Lots of artists still use it, and in the description I'll have everything that we need for this product, including the kind I'm going to try and that some of my artist friends use. So I'll rinse that. That's real easy if it doesn't all rinse off. It did that time to just roll it off. The next thing I like to use is a gum toothpick thing. This is what the packaging looked like, soft picks. And there are 2 things I do with this. The first one is filling in spots that don't need really the finest. For all these spots that are on these mushrooms, sort of more of them at the bottom. Number 3 was soft picks, and number 4 is soft picks B. And this is for big splatters, like you might use this for a wave, but I'm going to use it to get texture into the ground. And you hold it and then you flip it. Only I'm not sure if you can see, and it makes these big splashes that you can see that would be perfect for a wave. And I think it's going to work for my ground here, even though that very first one I got rather high. Okay, and last but not least is splatters. Splatters are super fun. And I'm going to use this brush, and I have it wet, and I have just a little bit of soap on it. I always practice with this one because sometimes a blob comes out right at the beginning, or sometimes there's not enough. Okay, there we go. And there we have some splatters that would work for snow. And you know, if I'd held it a little higher, they wouldn't be quite as big, but you can always wait until your paper's dry and take off the big ones. I've mixed some red and pink, and I'm putting it in there, and then I'm watering down my mixture and getting into some lighter colors. Now I have too much water in there, so wash it on my brush. We're going to get this side lighter than that side. And then just a little bit of alizarin on this side to make the darker shadows on this side. Alizarin turns a little bit browner than the reds, and I want it to still look bright. And now I'm going to make a little bit of a tan color. Going to mostly leave it clear right in there. And I want that to go into some greens up here. For the sky, I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to put these greens around. I didn't really have plans for that dandelion, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to go around it. Now, these quill brushes hold a lot of water, but if you're in a dry climate, you'll still want to work quickly. We're getting a few darks in there, and they probably look way too dark right now. And down here we need some more darks. Now, while that dries, I'm going to put in some detail in here. And let's start taking some of the frisket off. There's a few ways to do that. You can just rub with your fingers. And if you don't have a lot, that's a really perfectly fine way to do it. Up here with these speckles in the sky, it works really well. And you can also use an eraser. I don't know of anything else this eraser is used for. It's very harsh eraser. And these were the ones with the soap. These were the fine lines. And the spray with the stencil brush. And then these I'm going to have to really dry the paper again. And then these ones come off best with a heavier eraser. These ones that were sprays from the gum. And then another way that sometimes I do it is with masking tape. And if you kind of just catch it on the masking tape, and that way works well too. Frisket always works better if you don't have it on for too many days. This was just on today. I showed it to you, and now a little bit later I'm taking it off. I'm taking a gray tan and getting this side of the mushroom darker. There's actually some shadows in it. I'm making this look more like dirt. And then I'm going to go in with this green. And I'm just going to paint right across everything and make it all this color to start with. And drop in some other colors. Now I'm getting a little bit of that tan color to make these look a little bit more 3D. I'm just doing the bottom side of them a little bit. I totally forgot about this thing. I'm wondering if those spidery things, oh yeah, there they are. And put a stem on that thing. Looks very ethereal. I'm going to make the green go in between some of these just a little, just for fun. Now let's see if we can rescue this little brush here. We'll see if any of it rinses out. Well, a little bit did. But you can see there's still quite a bit in there. So we're going to rub it on the soap. Add a little water too. And I'm going to rub it on my hand. Boy, look at my hands. They became a mess in this painting. You can see some of it's loosening just from that. And then I'm going to pull at it. So you want to use older brushes when you use Frisket on your brushes, or cheap brushes. Like this is not a really real expensive stencil brush. It's part of a set. The hardest place to get it out is way down in there. I don't know if I'll be able to get all that, but I think the rest of it's coming out. Now if you let it dry for days, I kind of doubt if this would work, but if it does, leave me a note in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. There's kind of a bigger spot right there. So it takes a little bit of agitating and a little bit of effort, but it's worth it to get your brush back. So there's some little bits that stayed in there, but for the most part, it's still a usable brush. It is better to put your soap in at the beginning and not have to do this, but just in case. Now, I don't know what would happen if you waited for 2 days to do this. I just don't think it would work at all. Usually when I've done this, I did it immediately, and the little bits all came out. This time I waited longer. I hope this helps you with Frisket, and I'd love to hear how it goes for you in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy painting.